How are we doing, everyone? Hope you're well. Mr. Bowler here, back today to rank the thrash metal albums in my collection from 1990, from my least favourite to my favourite. Last week I ranked the albums from 1986, so if you haven't seen that video, I shall leave a link to it in the description box of this video. So we have 16 albums to talk about here. Not going to waste any time, I'm going to get straight into it. No bad albums here, but this first one I'm going to show for me is pretty weak compared to the rest, but it's still got some decent stuff on it. So we're going to start off in America. For Sacred Reich, The American Way, which is an album that's got some really good songs on it, but it's got some very bang average stuff on it as well, which is why it comes in at last place. I mean, the title track is one of my favourite thrash metal songs out there. Very simplistic with its riffing, but the riff is really, really good. I love Phil Ryan's vocals, really catchy chorus. The first track, Love and Hate, is really good as well. Crimes Against Humanity closes outside. That's a good tune. State of Emergency is good on side 2, but a couple of others on side 2 don't grab as much as others. And the last track is pretty forgetful, to be fair. So that's why Sacred Reich, The American Way comes in at 16th place. A good album, but there's definitely room for improvement. Definitely not as good as the two come before it, but still some decent stuff on that one. Number 15, we're going over to Germany now, and here's Tankers, The Meaning of Life. There's again a couple of tunes on this that don't grab me as much as others, but some tracks I really do enjoy. Yeah, good stuff from these German thrashers. Tracks on this one particularly like We Are Us. That's got a brilliant chorus. Love the vocals, they're fantastic. Dancing on Our Grave again has got a great chorus, some good riffs. Bermuda, fantastic tune, very, very catchy stuff. The Meaning of Life title track's really good. Space Beer. The last 3 tracks don't grab as much as what comes before it on this record, but they're still decent. I can still listen to this record from start to finish and enjoy it. But Tankers, The Meaning of Life comes in at 15th place. 14th, an album that gets criticised a lot for the fact that it appears to be a bit of a rushed album, and it's definitely not as good as what the albums that come before it, but it's still a decent listen. Quite thin production, but it doesn't bother me, it has to be said. We're going back to the States here, and there's Testament and Souls of Black. Like I say, an album that does get unfairly criticised. It definitely sounds like it was rushed out though, so they could jump on the Clash of the Titans tour back in 1990. Not as good as what come before it, but still decent tunes on this one. Face in the Sky, that's a great tune, I should say. Souls of Black, I love that bass intro. The bass on this record sounds good as well. Absence of Light's a good tune as well. Malpractice, great chorus, really catchy stuff. The Legacy, that's one of their sort of ballads, that's really good. 7 Days of May, last track. Good stuff. As always, the lead work from Alex Skolnick is great. The riffs from Eric Peterson are always really, really good. Louis Clementi, never the best drummer, but he gets the job done. Chuck's vocals are good. Gets some criticism. I don't think it really deserves some of the criticism, I guess. But Souls of Black, still a decent album. That comes in at number 14. Number 13, I completely forgot to do this when I was doing my albums from 1986 and 1990, pitting those years against each other. I totally forgot to include this one, but here it is. And here's Sadus and Swallowed in Black. Savage thrash. This for me is when sort of thrash started borrowing a little bit from death metal, because it really is quite raw compared to some of the other albums here. And quite aggressive compared to some of the other albums here. Like I say, Testament Souls of Black is nowhere near as aggressive as this. This is some really good stuff. Steve Giorgio on the bass, of course. Great tracks on this. Like the first track, Black, is great stuff. Lost Abide, I really like. The Wake's great. In Your Face, I love the vocals in that tune. False Incarnation, Images, Arise, stuff like that. Good album. The production's quite raw. So this is a very savage sounding album. Brilliant vocals across the entire album. The drums are excellent as well. Say the Swallowed in Black. Like I say, sort of slightly borrowing from death metal. Makes this a really savage, nasty sounding record. And it's a great album. Swallowed in Black by Sadus comes in at 13th place. Number 12 now. Sticking with the States. And here's Death Angels Act 3. Which for me is Death Angels definitely improving on the previous album. Frolic Through the Park for me is not a great album at all. But this is definitely an improvement. This is on Geffen Records. This for me, I've said this before and I'll say it again. This for me is almost like a bit of a Black album before the Black album was released, of course. There's still definitely some thrash here. But it's definitely more chilled in places as well. We've got some acoustic guitars on this one, which sound really nice. A good ballad as well in a room with a view. But it starts off with a couple of really good thrashers. Screaming the Endless Time and Stop. Opening 1-2 are absolutely superb. Veil of Deception, that's the track that starts off with the acoustic. That's a good track. Room with a View, like I've already said, is fantastic. Really, really like that one. Disturbing the Peace, great track as well. Falling Asleep, last song. Good album from Death Angel. I don't love it as much as others do, but it's still a really, really good listen. Death Angels Act 3 comes in at 12th place on this list. Good album from those guys. I'm of the opinion, though, that some of their more recent stuff is just as good as what they were putting out back in the day. And you can't say that about some of the thrash bands from back in the day. Some of the stuff they put out these days is not that great at all, but not the case of Death Angel. Act 3, decent listen. I like that one a lot. Number 11. Again, we're sticking in the States, and here's Exodus's Impact is Imminent. An album that I definitely enjoy more than I used to. I've always liked it, but I definitely like it more now. John Tempestor on the drums. This was his first album of the band. I think it's still Rob McKillop on the bass. Gary Holt, this has got that sort of the start of that classic Exodus guitar tone. The guitars on this record sound fantastic. Zetro on the vocals sounds excellent. Tunes on this one that I really enjoy. Impact is Imminent, the first track, title track, is good. The Lunatic Parade is my favourite song on the album. It's got some amazing riffs in it. Great chorus. I love the sort of the gang vocals and the backings. They sound really good. Objection Overruled. Love the drum intro from John Tempestor on that. Only Death Decides. Great tune. Changing of the Guard. Ends with Thrash Under Pressure. Good album from Exodus. Not their best. They've definitely got better albums in their catalogue, but this one's not a bad one at all. Exodus's Impact is Imminent comes in at number 11. We're into the top 10 now. Here's Exor, Slaughter in the Vatican. Obviously a big influence on Phil Anselmo, if you've heard the vocals on this, and then you hear what Phil started doing with his voice. Good album from these guys. I enjoy this one a lot. This was recorded at Morris Sound. It's got Scott Burns production, so if you've never heard this record, but you're familiar with the Morris sound and Scott Burns, you know what this record sounds like. Again, it's quite a thin production, but I have no problems with that whatsoever. Death in Vain, Homicide, Desecrator and Exorder. Side A is all killer stuff. Legions of Death, Slaughter in the Vatican. Title track is absolute beast. There's some great riffs across this record. The drums are really, really good. I really like Kyle's vocals on this album. Slaughter in the Vatican from Exorder. Really, really good stuff. That one comes in at number 10. I enjoy that one a lot. Some excellent thrash there with some groove going on as well. Number 9, a band I'm fairly new to, only in the last couple of years, and here's Artilleries by Inheritance. A nice OG press that I picked up at a record fair a couple of years ago. Great vocals on this record. Drums are great. Some really, really good riffs as well. Some very, very strong tracks. Comania, second track, is great. I absolutely love that. Beneath the Clay, R.I.P. is probably my favourite song on the album. The chorus is so catchy. The riffs are fantastic in that song. By Inheritance, the title track is excellent stuff. Don't Believe, Equal at First. Back in the Trash, great track. The fourth track on side B, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It looks like it says Razamanaz. That is not great. I could easily do without that track on this record. Not terrible by any stretch of imagination, but if it wasn't on there, I wouldn't miss it. Artilleries by Inheritance comes in at number 9 on this list from 1990. Good stuff from those guys. I think they're from Denmark. Up next, again, an album that kind of slightly borrows from death metal with the savage delivery of it. This is Demolition Hammer's Tortured Existence. Excellent album. I do prefer the album that come after Epidemic Advance, but this is still a beast. Absolutely savage vocals on this. Great riffs. The guitars sound great. The guitar tone is amazing. The drumming is absolutely fantastic. I can't remember the name of the guy, but unfortunately the drummer passed away back in about 1996. So he's not been with us for a long time now. But his performance on this record is great. So yeah, it's thrash for me. Definitely borrowing a little bit from death metal with the savage vocals. The guitar tone's absolutely superb. 44 Caliber Brain Surgery. That's got to be one of the best opening tracks on any album. The chorus is great. The vocals in that chorus are brilliant. Very, very catchy. Easy to sing along with. Crippling Velocity, the last track on side A. Savage stuff. Again, great riffs. Hydrophobia, great track. Mercenary Aggression, really, really good stuff. Again, I'm fairly new to these guys. I only sort of started listening to these guys about 3 or 4 years ago, but I absolutely love this. And the follow-up, Epidemic of Violence. Really, really good album. Some Demolition Hammer. Savage stuff from those guys. Really, really good album. Torture Existence comes in at number 8 on this list. Up next, and the only CD to show, I wouldn't mind getting this one on wax. Another album that gets criticised for its thin production, but it doesn't bother me. And here's Flotsam and Jetsam, When the Storm Comes Down. I'm fairly new to this album. I only picked this up a couple of months ago. I knew I was going to be doing these videos a couple of months back, and I knew this album came out in 1990, so I decided to jump on eBay and look for it. Found this CD for about £9. Was happy to pay that for it. Again, the production's quite thin, but I don't have any issue with it at all. In fact, to be honest, I quite prefer this old school production sometimes. When you get a lot of these modern thrash albums with the really clicky, triggered kick drums, it can sometimes take away a little bit from the sound, but not the case here. Eric AK on the vocals, doing a fantastic job, of course. Brilliant, brilliant singer. This album's got some really good tunes on it. Suffer the Masses, track 2 is excellent. Got a great chorus. The intro riff to track 3, really, really good stuff. Deviation, that's it. That's a great track. Burn Device, The Master Sleeps, Greed. The last track, Kill All Bouncers, is utter shit and doesn't need to be on there. It's a complete waste of, fortunately, only 25 seconds of your time. But the rest of it is really, really good. Another album that I don't think really deserves its reputation. I mean, it hasn't got a reputation as being a bad album. Like I say, the production gets criticised, but it's not a problem for me. When the Storm Comes Down from Flotsam and Jetsam comes in at number 7. Good album, like that a lot. Like to get it on wax. The only UK entry here, and is Zentrix for Whose Advantage. An excellent album. I'm fortunate enough to have an OG of this, but I've decided to put out the music on vinyl reissue for this video. Excellent stuff. Chris Astley on the vocals. Fantastic stuff. He's not in the band anymore, but the guy I've got to replace him is just as good as far as I'm concerned. But his vocals sound fantastic on this. Great guitar tone on this record. An album full of great tunes. Questions, the opening track, absolutely fantastic. Great chorus, catchy stuff. Whose Advantage, love that bass intro. It's good stuff. The Human Condition on side 8, that's another great track. New Beginnings, Desperate Remedies, great song as well. Kept in the Dark. Black Embrace, bit of a weak closer, but it's still okay. Some great riffs across this record. I like the drums as well. For Whose Advantage by Zentrix comes in at number 6. Good stuff from here in the UK. Love this band. Number 5 now. We're going back to the States for Forbidden's Twisted Into Form. Excellent stuff. Saw these guys at Bloodstock just a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately not with Russ Anderson, but the guy I've got in to replace him is great. Paul Bostaff on the drums here. The last thing he did before he left to join Slayer. Like I just mentioned, Russ Anderson on the vocals. Great vocalist. Can hit some amazing high notes. Great tunes across this record. Out of Body, Out of Mind, one of my favourite thrash songs. Absolutely fantastic. Step by Step, another great tune. Infinite as well. Track 2 is superb. Twisted Into Form. I love the guitar playing in that track. That's really good. Some great riffs. Spiral Depression's instrumental. Decent tune. Tossed Away. Great track. Great chorus. One Foot in Hell, last song. An absolute banger. No bad songs on this album at all. Twisted Into Form from Forbidden. A lot of people will give the nod to the debut of this record, but for me, I enjoy this one a little bit more. There's not a lot in it. Twisted Into Form from Forbidden is excellent stuff. Number 5. Number 4 now. We're going back to Germany. And it's Creators, A Coma of Souls, which is a great record. I only picked this up about 3 or 4 years ago. Mille Petrosa's vocals, really savage. Excellent, excellent vocals. Especially on these early albums from Mille, has to be said. Venter on the drums, as always, doing an absolutely crushing job. So many great riffs and solos on this record, and the songs are fantastic. When the Sun Burns Red, that opener is really, really good stuff. Coma of Souls title track is brilliant. Great chorus. People of the Lie, my favourite song on the album. Just excellent, excellent riffs on that song. Again, great vocals from Mille in the chorus. Agents of Brutality is great stuff as well. Terror Zone, Twisted Urges, Hidden Dictator, Mental Slavery. Just a savage album from Creator. The last thrash album they did for 11 years, of course, before they went in a much more different direction during the 90s. Coma of Souls, number 4 on this list. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Into the top 3. Going over to Canada now. Annihilator's Never Neverland. Coben 4 on the vocals, replacing Randy Rampage. I prefer Randy's vocals, but Coben still does a great job. And it's the same lineup as before. Ray Hartman on the drums. It was an ass in hell, I should say. Dave Scott Davidson on guitar. Wayne Darley, underrated bassist on the bass. Brilliant stuff. And of course, the amazingly talented Jeff Waters, an amazing guitar player, whether it's riffs or solos. That guy knows what he's doing when it comes to picking up a 6-string. An excellent album. It's absolutely superb. So many great tunes in this that I really, really love. The Fun Palace. Not great lyrics, but you get that with most of the Annihilator stuff, to be fair, but great tune. Road to Ruin, great track. 6s and 7s, another great track. Stonewall, not as good as what come before it, but it's still decent. Title track, Never Neverland's really good. Side B, Imperial Eyes is good. Craft Dinner, great track. Phantasmagoria, some very, very catchy chorus vocals in that. Reduced to Ash, I'm in Command, the last track is absolutely savage. Love that intro riff, great chorus. It's an album with absolutely no bad songs on whatsoever, and that's why it comes in at 3rd place. And I like is Never Neverland. It's superb stuff. Their second full-length album. Brilliant album. Love that one a lot. Really, really good stuff. Number 2 position now. And a record that needs absolutely no introduction. Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss. My favourite Slayer album. A lot of people, of course, give the nod to Rain and Blood over this one. But for me, I like Seasons just that little bit more. Dave Lombardo's drums are, as per usual, absolutely outstanding. Great guitar work from Kerry and Jeff here. Obviously, Tom around the bass and vocals. Kicks off a War Ensemble. That opening track is one of the best opening tracks you'll hear on any record. I love that drum break in the middle from Dave Lombardo. It's absolutely fantastic. Great riffs in that song. Great way to open this album. Spirit in Black on side A. Great stuff. Expendable Youth, a little bit filler, but still decent. Dead Skin Mask, the last track to close out side A, about the serial killer Ed Gein. Great tune. Love the guitar intro part in that. Skeletons of Society on side B is fantastic. Born of Fire, great chorus. Tom's vocals are amazing. Ends with the absolutely outstanding title track, Seasons in the Abyss. One of Slayer's best songs as far as I'm concerned. I love the clean guitar part. It's near the start of the song. I like the chorus, easy to get into your head and sing along to. The riffs, the solos are actually really, really good in that song as well. Not something to say often about Slayer. When it comes to riffs, they're definitely sort of gold medalists. When it comes to solos, they're definitely bronze medalists. But yeah, Seasons in the Abyss, my number 2 thrash metal album from 1990. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Love that album. But there's only one that's a little bit better. And this was always going to be my number 1 thrash metal album from 1990. It is, of course, another album that needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever. Megadeth's Rust in Peace is absolute savage stuff. A perfect record. Okay, Dawn Patrol is a little bit filler, but I still enjoy it. Holy Wars, track 1. That was the song that made me want to pick up and play a guitar. When I saw the video for that on Noisy Mothers back in 1994. Just so inspiring. That's the reason I play a Black Jackson Flying V, because Dave was playing Jacksons back in the day. Marty Friedman on the guitar. So Dave and Marty on this record. The solos are absolutely outstanding. Nick Menza, rest in peace, fantastic drum on this record. Dave Ellison's bass playing is great. Love the sound of the bass on this record. Max Norman's production is really, really good. And it's just perfect. Like I say, Dawn Patrol's a little bit filler, but I still enjoy it. But side A, those 4 tracks are just absolutely perfect. Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Tainted Prisoners. I love the vocals in that. Savage Stuff, 5 Magics, great tune. Side 2, Poison Was the Cure, Lucretia, Tornado of Souls. The solos in that song are absolutely amazing. Ends with Rust in Peace, Polaris. Just an absolutely fantastic song. This is definitely my favourite Megadeth lineup. Some people would go for the first lineup, but Nick Menza, Marty Friedman, Ellefson and Mustaine is my favourite lineup. And it's just an absolutely outstanding record. Just brilliant, brilliant stuff. I never ever tire of listening to it. A perfect thrash metal record from start to finish. Megadeth's Rust in Peace is my number 1 thrash metal album from 1990. Just absolutely amazing stuff. Just slightly better than Seasons in the Abyss for me. But there's loads of great albums I've shown in this video, but this is definitely top of the pile. Just superb stuff. Right guys, there we go. Video done and dusted. As always, thanks for watching, taking time out of your day to watch this video. It's very much appreciated. As per usual, jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think about my ranking here, and or even list your ranking in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. It's very much appreciated. Your support is very much appreciated. Like I said earlier, if you haven't seen the 1986 video, I'll link in the description box this video. I shall be back with you next week with a collection update. Got some really nice stuff coming to the collection recently. So as per usual, until next time, cheers, take care, and I shall see you later.